Hey everyone. So this week on Epic Games, the free games are Cat Quest 2 and Orcs Must Die 3. Cat Quest 2 is an open world action RPG in a fantasy realm of cats and dogs. Cat Quest 2 lets you play solo or with a friend as both a cat and a dog. Quest in a world filled with magic, defeat monsters, and collect loot in a cat adventure like never before. As always, this video will contain the playthrough of one of the games, and it will be Cat Quest 2, and then there'll be a follow-up video showing gameplay from Orcs Must Die 3. Orcs Must Die 3 is a action-adventure strategy tower defense game where you will slice, burn, toss, sap, grind, and give massive hordes of repugnant orcs in this long-awaited successor to the award-winning Orcs Must Die series. New to the series, war scenarios pit players against the largest orc armies ever assembled. Mountable war machines give players the essential firepower to heave, stab, and carbonize the orcs. Now we will get into the gameplay for Cat Quest 2. These are the opening scenes of the story. Game gives you the ability to play solo or in co-op where you and someone else will play as the cat or the dog. There's story mode and normal mode. Story will be just strictly focused on story and make enemies a lot easier, where normal is how they intended you to play. Overall, really enjoyed this game. I was surprised, first looking at the game, didn't really know what to expect, but I found the story was somewhat interesting, but really I loved the fighting mechanics, the various weapons, armor, and magic abilities you're able to bring to battle, the different enemies, their different attacks and abilities. It just, I lost time playing it, and it was something that I think I will go back to and would want to try with a friend for sure to experience that sort of gameplay. So starting the game, you'll go through a little bit of a tutorial. I use controller, but you can use mouse and keyboard in the game as well. And you get to enter your first dungeon, where you can loot these little chests. You'll get some armor. Later on, you'll find weapons. And you can equip them to either the cat or the dog. And killing enemies drops both coins and XP. And you level up together when you play solo, but I imagine as co-op you probably level up separately. Armors and weapons have various defense or attack ratings that they can provide, as well as elemental damages and resistances. This stone here provides you with your first magic ability, and there's quite a few magic abilities you get along the road. You get Flame Purr and Freeze Paw, and it'll show what they do there. So the Flame one does an AoE, whereas the Freeze Paw will send out a line of freeze. And you're able to switch between the dog and the cat in solo by pressing Y on the controller, if you're using an Xbox controller. I ended up making it so that the dog was my tank or melee, and then the range was the cat. Here you're able to upgrade your armor, and then you're also able to upgrade weapons later on. You'll see I collect quite a few. You can collect weapons and armor through dungeons and ruins, and if you collect one of the same ones you already have, it'll upgrade the one that you have, increasing the level. And here you can see you can upgrade your magic abilities as well. Moving on to part of the story, you end up getting to this spot where you face the line here. This is who's currently sitting in your throne, and you get to fight the jesters that are by their side. At this point I was able to get more magic abilities, one of them being an ice shield that protected us from damage. And once you defeat these jesters, the Lioneer will try and attack you. You aren't able to do any damage to him. And that's where the story continues, and you find out that you need to forge the King's Blade. The King's Blade has what appears to be 2 parts to it, so you end up fighting this dragon and a couple minions to get one of the shards. I actually really enjoyed this boss battle. Part of the fighting mechanics is dodging, so you'll see the red around the boss, and when it gets to the outside, that's when you want to make sure you're out of that red zone. So beating the boss, you then get to go pick up the shard. And then time has passed and you finally reach the bridge that leads you from the Cat Kingdom to the Dog Kingdom. The Lioneer was waiting, but you're able to get across, and now you're in the Lupus Empire. This is where you'll meet Hado, who is supposed to help you find the other shard and also allows you to upgrade your weapons. Continue playing the game, and there's variations to dungeons. These little crates here only unlock when you defeat all the enemies in a dungeon. And you'll see this is kind of closer to where I finished. There I had a lot more weapons and armor available. I was upgrading things, so I tried to upgrade as much as I could to where my current level was. And this again shows once you kill all the enemies in a location, it'll unlock the chest for you. So then we meet the Wolfen, who is also an enemy. And you're trying to get this shard that's behind him. Turns out to be an illusion once you beat him. He's got a couple of variation attacks. He's got a freeze attack like we have. And he's got a electric one that goes across as well. And then he sends out these little balls that you have to try and avoid. So, played Wolf mostly and tried to keep the cat as like a healer type. He's got a magic ability that will heal me. There's also magic weapons that can heal as well. And then sometimes one of your guys dies and you have to kind of stand on them to try and revive them without dying yourself. And the longer you stand there, the quicker it'll be, but when you do have to leave, it starts going back down again. I was very close to dying here, but made it out alive. When you're playing solo, the other dog cat, depending on which one you're not playing, is played by the computer. This is kind of where I finished my playthrough. I didn't end up going past this point too much. I didn't really want to attack this little guy, but he didn't let us stand near him, so it happened, despite him not wanting to die. As I mentioned, I really liked this game. I liked the different ways you can go into battle with various abilities, armor, and weapon sets. And I liked the different mechanics of the enemies. I would highly recommend everyone tries this one out.